Welcome to the Pen and Paper Hive. I am your host Wolf and I'm a Game Master since 2001. Today's topic is problem players and how to deal with them. Every now and then you probably will encounter a problem player. There are so many different kinds of problematic players out there. And everyone needs, of course, a firm but also soft hand. I don't think I can explain that too well, but what I usually mean is you should have an understanding of a problems player situation depending on the problem, but also be firm. It's a skill as a game master you really need to develop or have, because it can destroy groups and also relationships. I usually deal with problem players very swiftly. It's always I talk once and then I make a decision. When a problem player appears in one of my groups, I talk once, and if the player struggles but tries, they get a second talk or a second one-on-one session with me where we talk about the problems we are having or I'm having with them or the group is having with them, and try to give them a second chance basically, or a third chance would be the case in that particular situation. So, but what happens when a problem player is not changing or basically laughing in your face? Well, you have to deal with that. First, those decisions will always be hard because it has always this bad taste with it, like maybe you were the problem. I often think to myself, maybe I caused this problem, was I wrong with it? And a lot of thinking happens after I made a firm decision. But it comes with it. You deal with it at some time, but you have to make a decision, because if you don't, problems get out of hand and it goes to your players, and the other players will probably leave before the problem player will leave. As an example, let's go with like someone who is constantly chewing, burping, even farting. I had that in my groups at least a couple times. Some of them change, some of them don't. But you talk, you tell them, hey, the problem with you not using push to talk is very disturbing to my players. It's very disturbing to me. It shows basically that you probably have no respect for the group and or me. If it's not willingly and you just miss it or forget it, I can tell you, at least this time, use push to talk, please, and don't disturb the group or me when we are playing with burping, farting and crunching or eating chips all the time, which is very annoying. The player can mostly react in two ways, negatively or positively. Positively would be like, oh, I didn't get that, I was fading away or whatever, don't do it anymore, sure, no problem. And they change and all is good. But then you have players like, come on, it's just a game. I eat. What's the problem with that? And when I drink soda, I burp. And if the food was especially bone heavy, bean heavy, I fart every now and then. So what? Then you have to be firm. Tell them, well, if you don't want to change and you see it that way, it's okay. But then we don't fit together, because we want quiet round or sessions where no one is burping, farting and crunching all the time. It can happen, sure. But You don't want it, I don't want it, so we part our ways. I wish you the best of luck for new groups or whatever. Be done with it. You have to learn it. Say, okay, you go, bye. Have a good time, there's the door, leave. This is very important, but I understand it is very hard, especially for new gamers. It was very hard for me too at the beginning, but you have to learn it. You have to talk with other players and tell them about things and ask maybe them, so how would you handle that and what should I do? Because this is the main thing you do with problems evolving. You talk with people, you get input, and at the end you bring out some output, basically your decision, because as a game master you're also having to run the game, and the game is not only just at the session, but also when you are together. You have to manage the players' personalities, and you have to basically create groups where everyone is okay with everyone. You will have a quiet player, you will have an active player, you will have a player favorizing combat, you have a player favorizing role play. But all those can happily play together. Only when problems occur, only when problems happen, you have to step up, talk about it, and make a decision. And most of the time your decision probably will be leave the group, go away in peace. It's hard. It will be hard your first time, and it will also be hard whenever. It's also hard for me after over 15 years or 20 years of role-playing to say to a player, sorry, we're not fitting. It's not going well, please leave. And when they don't want to leave, which never happened to me, but I imagine it can happen, especially online, it's rather, let's say, easy to get rid of a player, but you have to do it because the damage they can do is very potentially high. They can annoy you other players, they can annoy you. If they are a moderator, especially on Discord, the damage can be very huge. So you have to act accordingly, and if they don't leave or probably will do something very bad for you, you have also to kick them from your Discord, you have to remove them from your TeamSpeak, and so on. It will never be easy. Don't let anyone tell you something else, because you will always have some doubt in you if you made the right decision. But it's something you have to deal with it. And that's it. Deal with problem players. Always first talk. When they react positively, you're done. If they react negatively, you have to remove them, and that's it. There is nothing more to it. You have to remove them. If you're on the table, you must say to them, okay, you have to leave, you're not fitting. And usually when you're at home at your place, it's, well, you kick them out. Or when you're playing in a store, you can at least get help from the store people. Store people, the people there that work there can probably help you with problem players. But believe me, it never gets easy. So I hope you get a little bit out of it, found some inspiration to hopefully deal with problem players. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you dislike the video, give it a thumbs down. Maybe you found something to discuss with me or others, just throw it down into the comments. And if you don't want to miss out on content I am throwing out a mass every Monday and Friday, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell as well with a natural 20. Until then, have a +1 on your next roll and see you soon.